Good morning, everyone. Like they said, my name is Josh Whitlow. Again, I'm with the Office of Finance and Operation under the Division of District Support. We will be talking about your amended, or first your original calendars and then your amended calendars as well. So let's just go ahead and get started. So for the 25-26 original calendars, we did open the calendar application, which was on Tuesday. So districts are already able to go ahead and submit those to us here at KDE. I am starting to get some questions about, hey, I don't have access to log into the web application. So we do ask you that you contact your WAPOC there. You can see the link there that will tell you who your WAPOC is if you don't know who that is in your district. Reach out to them and tell them that you need the Kentucky school calendar application under the web application. Again, if you need more information, there is the link for your KDE school calendar webpage. So as you are working on the calendars, if you've not got those started in Infinite Campus yet, and you're looking at the variable calendar instruction, for this year, you cannot start before August 25th, and that's that Monday, kind of the last week of August there. You're not able to start before then. If you do start before that, that's what we call the traditional calendar, which we'll go into in just a second. Just keep in mind that the only thing that is required for the variable instruction calendar is 1,062 hours. That 170-day instructional is waived under the variable calendar. Keep in mind, though, that your school calendars do require 185 school days, so you would need to use those G planning days as your day event to get to that 185. Keep in mind, though, your teacher contracts do equivalent to the 170. So if you do go to school, student days is 162. That is equivalent to 170 days. So again, those teachers would need to work 5 extra days to meet that 185 because we do give you the 10 with 1 opening, 1 closing, 4 PD days, and 4 holidays. So that gets you to get you to the 185, you'll need the G planning. Also keep in mind for the classified staff, they will have to work their hours and for that because they fall under the hours contracts. Just some calendar updates here. Traditional calendars must be have a minimum of 170 instructional days and 1,062 hours of instruction. Again, we just kind of went over the variable instruction calendar of 1,062 hours there. This one's a big one, right? The next bullet is a big one. So make sure that all your school calendars do have makeup days in there. We do have a link there on the slide. Also, that was emailed out on Tuesday as well when we sent to let everyone know that we sent it to DPPs and your KSIS admins as well. But make sure you check that 5-year weather trend. That will tell you exactly how many days of makeup days you have to have in your school calendars. Also keep in mind that when you're putting those school weather days in, that is part of your school months. So that does tack on to your month 10. So make sure that you are looking at those as well. That last bullet there, that is one of those checks that we do look at here at KDE behind the scenes. Districts do not have to do anything inside your school calendars, but ACT dates have not been determined yet. So we will actually do a manual pull for those dates to make sure all districts are in school on those dates. We look at 3 different dates to make sure that the districts are in school during that time. So we will actually do that at a later date. Just some common errors that we do see on the original calendars. Of course, myself and the field staff, we look at every single calendar that comes into here at KDE. The first one that we really see is the gaps in school months. So make sure there's no gaps in your school months. So if it ends on 10/2, the next one should start on 10/3. Just make sure that you are looking at those reports that we have, and I'll cover those in just a second. Again, make sure that the makeup days are counted as part of your school months. Again, school months have to have 20 school days in there. So month 1 through 9 will have 20 days, and then month 10 will have less on that side. Please keep in mind when you are working on your school calendars to make sure that you mark the following as school days. It helps us with our reporting here at KDE and also helps with when you're going over your validation reports. Making sure that the opening day, closing day, your 4 professional development days, and your 4 holidays are marked as school days. That just helps us when we're running our reports here at KDE. And keep in mind that on 1/19 of 2026, that is Martin Luther King Day, and that is required to be marked as a holiday. So just make sure you're paying attention to that part as well. So now we're going to get into our amended calendars. Again, we do have some little changes here from House Bill 241, so we'll talk about that as well. Keep in mind that both original and amended calendars are due to us here at KDE prior to June 30th. Again, there's the link for the web application as well. Again, if you don't have access to that, get with your WAPOC. We will not open the amended calendar application until after May 15th, but again, you cannot submit your amended calendar to us here at KDE until after the last school day. We do have some districts that try to submit that early. It's going to give you a warning, so just go ahead and give you a heads up. Don't try to submit that until after your last school day there. Again, some common errors that we still see, gaps in school months. This one's a good one here to make sure that you remove all your makeup days. You cannot have makeup days in your amended calendar, so you'll need to go in and delete that day event and make sure it's not a school day either, because that will throw you an error as well. Again, there's your 20 school days. Make sure that months 1 through 9 have 20 school days in there, and your month 10 will have less as well. Make sure that the following is marked as a school day: your opening day, your closing day, your 4 professional development days, your 4 holidays. Again, for this year, it was 1/20 of 2025. So make sure that Martin Luther King Day was marked as a holiday. And for districts this year, which we'll talk about in just a second, we are going to be using, or we should see a lot of those districts that are using that teacher equivalency day. We need to make sure that that is marked as a school day as well. So let's talk about House Bill 241. That became law on March 25th. So there's the link there if you haven't read the bill there. We are going to cover the first part of House Bill 241, which is talking just about the amended calendar and the calendar provisions. This year, for 2024 to 2025 school year, you are only required to meet the 1,062 hours of instruction. That 170-day requirement has been waived for all districts this year. But keep in mind that the certified and classified staff will have to follow the variable calendar requirements. So again, if you're going to school for 164 days, that is equivalent to 170 days. So make sure that your teachers are still meeting their contracts to get to that 185, as well as your classified staff as well. We do have 3 other calendar relief options that have been made available. We'll talk about that in the next slide as well. We did send out notifications about the calendar guidance to all DPPs, superintendents, and KSIS admins, but in case that you have not seen that, that can be found on our calendar page here at KDE, and you can just click on that link there, and that will take you straight to the guidance as well. So here's some of the calendar provisions that is in House Bill 241. There's 3 options that districts have. The first one there is the extra 5 disaster relief student attendance days. That is something that you cannot use until after March 25th. So if you had any extra NTI days that you need to use during the flooding a couple weeks ago, you had to make sure that you had to request those from Dr. Kelly Foster. So if you have not done that, make sure that you have got approval from her. Again, you're going to mark that as a school day and instructional day. We do ask that you put in the comments disaster relief number and then whatever day it is, and then for the reason as well, if it was for health or safety. That helps us here at KDE, and then 5 years from now when we need to look back, or if the district needs to look back, hey, why did we take 12 NTI days? That will be able to help you as well. The second option there is the instructional time, maybe add it to your calendars. So just keep in mind, you cannot exceed that 7 hours or the 420 minutes. Please keep in mind that you will have to create a new period schedule, and it must be approved by the local board as well before you actually put that into place. All that information on adding a new period schedule can be found on the guidance document for amended calendar, which it will be at the end of this slide deck. For districts that are not able to meet the 1,062 hours of instruction by June 4th, you are able to request a waiver from the commissioner here at KDE. And so that's going to be district-wide. So that's a disaster day for the whole district, not just the school. You will put that in Infinite Campus as the day event D, disaster day. And we do ask you that you put the comment in disaster day HB 241, again, just for documentation in case we ever have to go back and look 5 years from now. All right, so continue on with the House Bill 241. If districts do not utilize the 5 disaster relief student attendance days or request a waiver for those additional days by June 4th, the district, Laura kind of covered this as well, so we just want to cover it again inside of the calendar side. You do not have to do anything inside of Infinite Campus to mark those, hey, we're going to take these extra 5 days here. The system will automatically deduct those from the SAR. When we click on the SAR 10 report, that's automatically going to deduct those as well. But do keep in mind, districts that select option 1 or 3, you're not going to be eligible for SAR 10. And that's something that we'll be paying very close attention to here at KDE, just to make sure that you realize which part you're taking. So we will have documentation here for us here at KDE to make sure that you do select the correct one. And just like Jesse said, we are still working with Infinite Campus to get that report out inside of Infinite Campus. We will test it here in our office to make sure everything is working correctly, and we'll provide guidance as well. Again, we've also covered this last part. We do not know, KDE cannot estimate how this will affect your school district on SEEK funding. That's something that we have not been able to test yet. So as soon as it comes out, that is what we will cover as well in our documentations. Here is some calendar resources as well. Again, make sure that you are running all these reports before you actually run the calendar report to submit to us here at KDE. The calendar edits report, the calendar summary, and the calendar days tab. Make sure you are running those 3 reports to make everything looks clear before you actually go into the calendar report to pull that report to submit to us here at KDE. There's the calendar setup. That is what you're going to use for your original calendars. That goes through A to Z. You'll make sure you have your school months in there, your school days, your school terms, your rollover, all that with your students, and your transportation codes. It goes through that as well. The second one there is your amended calendar. That is going to go over if you need to create a new period schedule on how to put those courses onto the next period schedule as well. It walks you through all that information there as well. All right, we are ready for questions if there's any in the chat.
You've got a lot of questions, Josh.
I knew we did. That's why I kind of sped through, because I figured we would have a lot of questions.
All right. Let's see. First question is asking about since the 170-day requirement has been relaxed, asking about the formula is going to reflect that 170 days, that less day for some districts. I think they may be confusing the calendar and the SAR together. The calendar will reflect less than 170 days in that report if they go less than 170 days. Is that right, Josh?
Correct, yes.
Okay. All right. Let's change a little bit to talking about variable calendars. or I have a district on the variable calendar for the upcoming school year. My school month 10 has 0 days. Is this going to be okay, or will it be denied?
It will be denied because if you look at your calendar, it does have to have 185 days. So no matter what you do, that 185 days will roll you over into month 10. So make sure that you're putting your G planning days in there to hit that 185.
Okay. How do you mark Memorial Day, as a makeup or a break day?
That's a district decision on how you want to handle that. If you already know that you will not attend school on Memorial Day, we have some districts that will refuse to go to school on Memorial Day. They go ahead and put that in as a break day, and some districts will say, yes, we're going to go to school on Memorial Day just to get out. So they'll put that in as a makeup day. So that's a district decision.
Okay, so we have several questions here, all kind of going about the same, talking about Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Has that always been needed to be marked as a holiday, Josh?
Yes, that is actually in statute, in their calendar statute, which can be found on our KDE website. It does state that MLK Day must be marked as a holiday. So I've been doing calendars for a long time, even in the district, and that was still there when I was in the district. So yes, it's always been there.
Okay, so it has to be, marked as a holiday and not as a school day. So if
Correct.
they have Labor Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day as 4 holidays, does it matter which one of those other days they drop to make Martin Luther King one of those 4 holidays?
No, it does not matter. As long as Martin Luther King is marked as a holiday, you can choose on the other 3.
Okay. For school schedule changes, are those approved by SBDM or District Board of Education?
So the only thing that the local Board of Education must approve is if your start time or end time is changing. Anything besides that, your site base will make that decision.
Okay. So if you drop one of those other 4 holidays to make Martin Luther King a holiday, does that need to be marked as an other day?
It'll be just called as break day.
Break day.
K break, right. Yeah.
K break. Okay. House Bill 241 says each classified employee of a local Board of Education shall be considered to have completed 1 day of his or her employment contract for each day made up in accordance with House Bill 241. But KDE guidance says classified employees may have contracts that guarantee certain thresholds of work hours, and districts may need to provide alternative work to ensure these contracts are met. Do those days waived not count for certified employee hours? We are following, I'll jump in on this real quick. Yeah. We are following the same guidance that we used during COVID, that when those days are waived, they are counted towards your classified, towards your certified employee hours. So your teachers and your contracts, like Josh said, if you only go 164 days, that counts as 170 days towards their contract. But for those classified employees, those are the employees that you'll need to find other things to do, because you cannot pay those employees if they were not there and did not work those days. Okay. I think we have ran through your questions kind of quick, Josh, and we're early on your time. Is there anything else you had, or anything else on this submission?
No, okay. I mean, as far as
okay, well, you've got another question.
I was gonna say,
got another question posted in for you. Should our calendar submissions have been denied in previous years? We've never used MLK as a holiday. Do we need to change this in our amended calendar for this year?
Yes, I mean, that's statute, and usually it throws an error anyway. I would have to go back and look at our business rules, because that's one of our business rules inside the calendar application, to make sure that MLK Day is a holiday. So I would need to go look at that. I'm not sure why we didn't catch that, but yes, MLK Day has to be marked as a holiday.
All right. I'm going to ask this question. I don't really know what it's in reference to. You may, Josh. It says holiday or day outside, so a break doesn't work. We may need whoever answered that question just to reach out directly to Josh for that specific question. I don't know necessarily what that's in reference to. And she has linked in a KRS right there.
That's the calendar. We'll look at
Right.
it.
Okay. We'll look at that one and get back to you, Lindsay. Okay.
Jesse, it looks like there's one. Does MLK also have to be marked as a school day? Did you get that one yet?
I don't think we've got
Yes,
that
it does. It doesn't even mark as a school day because that's part of your 4 holidays. Yes. Because holidays do count as a school day.
And Wes has made a comment about the differentiation in the classified and certified employees. We know this is kind of a headache for districts, but the way it keeps being written into law, we don't know another way to change that. Let's see. Crystal, have I missed any others?
Something else, I meant to put that in the slide deck as well. Got another question over here on that side. Last year it did update. We kind of covered it in user groups. If you're with us during user groups, the school months tab did change a little last year. So just keep in mind, I always recommend putting the start date and end date. Leave that days tab blank and let that automatically populate for you. Just because if you go in there and put 20 school days, that's going to be wrong when you pull out your school months.
All right. Go ahead, Crystal. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. I was just going to say there's a couple more that popped in, but you can go ahead, Jesse.
Okay. I think we're still talking about Martin Luther King, asking about if the calendar's already been approved for next year. Do they need to meet again to get this update?
No.
All right. I think as long as it comes in on the amended calendar, you're good. And there's still some questions going about the statute. We'll send out something to outline the statute and exactly whether Martin Luther King needs to be marked as a holiday or just a day outside the minimum school term. It's always come through as a holiday on our side. So there's a lot of questions around that one. So we'll make sure we take that one back and send out some further guidance on that. So be looking for some clarification on Martin Luther King Day as a holiday.